Let's also talk about criterion B. All right. Are you used to criterion B's? Know what it's about? Yes. Investigating practice. Now, what have I crossed out on this, on your front sheet?
Mathematical something that's not actually solving problems, we're just explaining how to.
Did we do the applied mathematical problem solving? When? I believe you. I agree with you. Yes, we did it. But when did we do it? Did you do it the day you wrote the test?
Yeah.
No. That's why I crossed it out. Because sometimes in a criterion B, a lot of people think, well, criterion B is hard because I can't study for it. Because studying for it means I already know the material. A criterion B is when you're given material that you have to read and try and understand and spot the patterns yourself. When did I ask you to try and figure out things yourself with this task?
The day before.
The day before. What did I ask you to do the day before? Yeah.
Take 3 of the action cards and to try and figure out how.
Well, I didn't just give you 3. How many did you have? A bunch.
But.
And what was the task? Was to
Explain.
It wasn't actually. What was the task initially? Just to match them up, right? Did I not just say there are 3 different forms, match them up the best way you know how, yeah? Did I tell you how to do it?
No.
No. That lesson beforehand was this strand here, strand 1. Apply mathematical problem solving to recognize patterns. What I hoped you would do in the lesson before, some of you did better than others, was you took the stuff and you figured out yourself how to match them. Then I asked you to go round to different tables, didn't I? And see whether people got the same ideas. At the end of it, I asked you to try and explain them. All right? All of that was the strand 1 for criterion B. You had to do it yourself and spot what was going on. So what was this test about? Strands 2 and 3 is to describe the patterns that you found and also verify them. What does verify mean? Didn't go through this.
Well,
Clear who was paying full attention.
Verifying the verifying it's like when you tell them why and how you know it's correct.
Okay, how you know? To verify your general rule, I said to you on the day was give, and you want to write this down on your front of your paper maybe, give other examples, didn't I? I said to you, take 3 home, 3 cards that you knew matched, but I said on the day you had to be able to give your own examples. Can you write that on the front of your paper? Some of you are not. Alright? This becomes a learning result. Give other examples. Right? Verify means give other examples showing your, I underline the word your, method. Because your method might not be the same one I'm expecting, but if it works, it's good for criterion B. Now, can I just ask you this? I want you to take 1 minute, purely on your own merit, no chatting needed. I want you to go through and just look, and did you give lots of different examples? Right, just have a quick look now. Did you give other examples in your work? All right. If you didn't give lots of different examples, I want you to put a little star by verify these relationships because you didn't do it. If you did it, you can give yourself a tick and a smiley face. Alright? And you'll probably notice that that's why you got the higher grades. Okay. Who's been able to tick and smiley face? The rest of you not? You will see why then your grade is a bit lower. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the answers then. So I've said these are different forms. You know that now, right? You all know how to do these things now? Because they show the same information but a different form, it must be possible to change from one to the other. This time, you should communicate how you can make the changes. You should be able to generalize your method. It means someone who reads your work should be able to use your method to do others in the same way. So you can't give one example and go, that's it. Change a ratio into a fraction. Now I'm going to give you an example of one that doesn't get you much credit. You want to write this one down. Ratio into a fraction. Remember, you've got to explain it. Change a ratio into a fraction. I'm going to say 1 to 2 is the same as a half because it's obvious that 1 is half of 2. How do you feel about that as an answer? Is it true though? Yeah, it's true. Not a good answer. Why?
How you got that idea of 1's half 2, and you didn't explain that how 1 is half of 2 and how that makes sense, and there's no verification behind any of it.
Just saying things like it's obvious, it doesn't help us. Alright? What could we write? What's the correct answer for changing a ratio into a fraction? But if I said to you 3 to 2, let's give a good answer. 3 to 2. How do we do it? I don't want a whole read now, but we'll summarise it now. We should know how to do it now. How do we change a ratio into a fraction?
You just
Then we write what could we write next to it? Or 3 over 5. Or, so not or, sorry, and 2 over 5. Two options there if I'm going for like real like level 8 stuff. Okay, yeah, go for it.
you say I just
Yeah. Does it matter which way round? Okay, so I could write, you must write the first number as the numerator. The second as the denominator. Yeah? Another example is,
real.
there's one example, give me another example. No, a different question to verify that I'm doing it the same way. So how about writing 2 to 7 is 2 over 7. Okay, and I can even then show, if I'm not very good with my words, I can even just show how it makes sense. How did I use my... Now, I think quite a few of you got a little bit confused with this one because you all went down the route of you have to simplify. Yeah? And we don't have to simplify, do we? So if I was really on board with this one, I would say, what about 5 or 15 to 5? I could write equals 15 over 5. First number is always the numerator. But then I can write this can be simplified. Well done to those of you that look like you're fully paying attention. So, shame on you, at least one person that looks like they're trying to sleep and won't learn from this. Yes.
Do you want to ask, so for that second example, what what sort of grade would that give you?
Well, what I'm doing now is I'm giving you the ultimate for an 8. But you have to do it consistently all the way through. How can this one be simplified? So 15 divided by 5, we can divide by 5, okay, which is the common factor. We talked about that, which gives you 3 over 1. Okay? Nice and simple. Would someone very easily be able to follow my idea? So we've just gone, take the ratio, first number numerator, second number denominator. That's easy to follow. Okay? This I don't expect from you, but this would be the best, ideal. You can write this one down yourself. But I don't expect it, I didn't expect it. To generalize, a ratio A to B can be written as A over B. That's really generalizing it. Now that's using algebra. And like I said, I don't expect it, but now it's like, ooh, the box is just tough. Maybe we can. I've got it written in my work now.
Are we gonna
We're not doing this one again, no. You're now using the skills for criterion B, the explaining. So we did this over 2 lessons. You're not always going to get that. Now, I didn't tell you the lesson before that this was going to be a test because I just wanted you to do it. Yeah. I didn't want you to stress about whether you were getting it and ask me the answers. I just wanted you to do it for yourself. How does that look, by the way, as a page in an assessment? Fine, not a lot of writing. Is it all explained? Yeah. So you can see the mixture of writing and diagrams I said you could use. You all know the words numerator and denominator? Yes? Don't go down there. Okay.
I wrote it all in words.
Which is funny because you don't like using words and writing. So. Sometimes people, like when you write like that, you just vomiting on the page. Word vomit. You just like write, because you're like, I need to write as much as I can because surely I've said what I need to say somewhere.
Felt like if I didn't
Yep, I get you. And I did give you the option to do it how you wanted. In the future, we might do it, well, we'll definitely have a communication session where you can do a video again. All right, let's have a look at the next one then. To change. To change a ratio into a percentage. So, let's start with an example. So, let's do 3 to 5 again. Does anyone remember how to do ratio to a percentage?
How to change a ratio of percentages and you take the first two numbers, 3 and 5, in the ratio, and divide the first number by the second number of the ratio.
So we could say ratio to fraction first, yeah? So we can write 3 to 5. Yeah? Fraction first.
Equation of divide by 5.
Okay, so next step. So step 1, I can say it like that. I'm giving you hints how you can write this without a lot of writing. Step 2, divide. So 3 bits can be done as 3 divided by 5, which gives me all right.
But it's still decimal.
Okay, this is a decimal. Step 3.
To get a whole number, you have to times 0.6 by 100.
So decimal remember we're trying to be generalizing here. So decimal times 100 gives a percentage. And not just whole, because it might not be a whole number. So we do 0.6 times 100 equals 60%. So 3 to 5, okay, means
5.
3 is 60% of 5. Now, some of you try to do other methods like, which is absolutely fine. Can I just show you the other way that I think people did? Which is step 1, if that was 3 over 5, some people then would say make the fraction denominator 100. Okay? So in this case, 5 times 20 equals 100. So must also do 3 times 20 equals 60. And this gives 60 over 100. So I can say 3 times 20 over 5 times 20, and that equals 60%. Now, I do that, we didn't do that in the lesson, but I know some people are remembering how to do that with their fractions. Alright, so if you were doing that, but there is a problem with that way, which is not always can the number be multiplied to make 100. So the first way always works. So if I hadn't used my space, what would I do? Nope. Another example is 2 out of 9. So we go 2, 9. So 2 divided by 9 is 0.2222. Okay, 0.2222 times 100 is 22.2%. I've given another example. A different one. Yes.
0.2222, would it be considered as 0.28%?
Yes, it would be. So even better would be you wrote 0.2, but it's not communication assistance. No. Alright. We did it like that. There is another way, which is just to change your ratio into out of 100. So actually, if you did this way, the final question, change a fraction to a percentage, is now really easy. Why? By the way, I can see some people are not writing anything. What I'm going to do is I can send this video home and just go, by the way, here's what we did in class. I asked them all to write it out. Could you just check that they did? If you haven't, oh. Do you want to have a go at question 3 yourself to do a better answer? If your answer you think is awesome, share with the person next to you and they go, oh yeah, no, I get your answer. If not, do another one. Say this video. I want to be very clear that what I've just gone through there, the focus of this lesson was not how do I do ratios to decimals to percentage. You all know how to do that. You showed that before, right? It was how do I communicate my generalizing what I did. That's the important bit. So if all you did was write down how to do this, that's all you remember, that's not what criterion B is about. So in your next criterion B, what you're going to have to do is you're going to think, how do I do this? How can I explain it to someone else in the clearest way possible? Oh, and how many examples have I given? Does that make sense?